Good evening. I'd like to invite you for the historical movement because we are going to sign a MOA with Open University Sri Lanka. And before starting the proceedings, I'd like to invite Vice Chancellor, Professor S.A. Aridure, Dean Faculty of Management Studies, Professor V. Sivalokanasan, Registrar, Ms. Vindhya Jayasena, and also from CIPM, Mr. Dhammika Fernando, President CIPM Sri Lanka, Dr. Neil Bogalanda, Chairman, Professional Academic Affairs and Knowledge Center, and also Mr. Chris Obesekar, Acting CEO, to the head table. This is a historic movement for CIPM Sri Lanka and Open University. And before starting the proceedings, I'd like to invite to rise for the national anthem, followed by CIPM theme song. To do the welcome speech, I'd like to invite Dr. Neil Bogalanda, Chairman, Professional Academic Services Division and Knowledge Center Management. Dear sir, over to you.
President CIPM, Mr. Dhammika Fernando, Professor Aridure, and the eminent members of the OUSL at the head table, my dear friends. It's indeed a great honor for me to be here to formalize a long-term relationship that CIPM had with the OUSL by way of a memorandum of understanding. It's with great sense of appreciation it reminds me of late Professor Sudatta Ranasinghe's interest he had with, he wanted to collaborate with CIPM many years ago, and Professor Aridure, we are very glad that OUSL was one of the very first state universities to accept CIPM qualification many years ago, which have worked very well for the mutual benefit of both organizations since then, and as large, it has been beneficial to our nation. Our own President, Mr. Fernando, is also a product of yours from the first batch. He has gone on to make OUSL and CIPM proud on many occasions. I was assigned with this committee this year by my president, and we were very conscious to formalize these agreements, because with the passage of time, for the last 10 years, from the time you initially accepted to recognize CIPM diploma as an entry qualification for your MBA program, we have done many improvements to the curriculum, quality standards, and it fits the MOU we are going to sign today. We are also glad that we have signed up with similar MOUs with a couple of other universities, and we are in the tail end of signing up with Postgraduate Institute of Management and also Rural University. With that, I once again very warmly welcome all of you, Professor Aridure and ladies and gentlemen who have come from OUSL. We very warmly welcome you, and all council members, members of staff and committee members. Have a pleasant evening. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Today, we all are here because of his visionary leadership skill. I'd like to invite Mr. Dhammika Fernando, CIPM President, to address the gathering.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. So, after this COVID lockdown, I hope, including me, this may be the first public occasion that almost all of you may be participating. So we had some unprecedented situation all around the world, and that Sri Lanka did not escape. But we had our share of losing, and we need to have our share of gaining also now going forward. Not only in the society, the social sphere, the socio-economic background, but also on education. So, Professor S. Ariyadure, Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka, Professor Sivaloganathan, Dean, Faculty of Management Studies, Madam Vindhya Jayasena, Registrar of Open University, Professor Nalin Abesekara, Dr. Gamini, Senior Lecturer, Mr. Nishant, also a Senior Lecturer, and Mr. Asanka Senaviratna, Senior Lecturer from the Open University of Sri Lanka. Thank you very much for accepting our invitation and being here this afternoon with us to ink this historic agreement between the Chartered Institute of Personal Management Sri Lanka and Open University of Sri Lanka. For me, personally, this is not only as the institute, but for me as well, personally, a historic landmark. Because as Dr. Neil correctly mentioned, we've been running this course, if I remember right, for about 10 years from 2010 that we've started this collaboration between the CIPM and the Open University of Sri Lanka. Why it is historic or ironic for me is that I am one of the first batch students of this MBA program specialized in human resource management conducted by the Open University of Sri Lanka in collaboration with the Chartered then Institute of Personal Management. And I hope at that time it was the Faculty of Humanities. Yes. Now I heard that about a year or two ago they've separated to Management Faculty as well. And that time it was the Faculty of Humanities. And we had about 40 or 45 in our batch. We ended up with about 25 or so. And Shiva, we call him those days, and we were all senior lecturers or lecturers those days, and Nishant, and also Dr. Gamni was there in the faculty, especially our friend Professor Nalin, also was there those days. We as friends, we had some good times, after classes and all those. Anyway, most of my matchmates are really in very, very good places in the society, in the commercial world, in top-notch organizations in the country. And so I happened to became the president of this institute, this prestigious, great institute of mine 2 years ago. And I'm failing in my duties if I do not remember this remember this golden name at this moment. That is none other than Professor Sudatta Ranasinghe, who was instrumental in starting this master's degree in JAR at the OUSL in collaboration with us. If not for him, this would not have been in place probably by this time and had become matured and stable course conducted by predominantly the Open University. I must say that to be fair by all the lecturers and also the Open University, though the Open University is meant to be a distance learning organization institute, we've been the day scholars, always weekends and some weekdays as well. I've been there studying hard, and it was a rigorous course and fit to be something which is of world class, because we had 2 years of rigorous lecturers, about 20 modules or 20 subjects, plus that research component, which have been a pain for us those days, because we were rejected many times. I remember I got blackguarded by Dr. Gamini when I brought my research, not the proposal, of course, the few chapters, because he had blackguarded me because I didn't know statistics those days. So the regression analysis and all those things are not done. You know what I did? Luckily, there was a course conducted by the Colombo University, a certificate course in SPSS and R2, yeah. So I just got into the Open University of Sri Lanka and started learning statistics. So I got that certificate, and with the help I completed my statistics part of the research. And it took quite a while, but then we all got graduated, and it was a nice time. And the other thing is that in that course that you have a way out in the middle with a postgraduate diploma also. And that's also something very good, because we could get both the postgraduate diploma plus the master's. And we were molded, of course, here at the CIPM. Also, we had long years ago followed the Human Resource Management diploma, and now we have the professional qualification. So we are going from strength to strength with the support of these academic institutions, the universities. We have to serve the society hand in hand, as professionals and academia, both hand in hand. Otherwise, that will not be a wholesome education for the enthusiasts, for the learners, and for the people of this country. So therefore, we started getting into formalization of our agreements with, I think last we've signed with the University of Jaffna, Vaunia campus. And they've told us very soon that they are going to get separated as a separate university. Now that we are almost completed the negotiations with the University of Ruhuna, and also SLIIT, Sri Lanka Institute of Information Technology, and is it SAGIS, Mr. Virathun? Yes, Horizon campus. And likewise, we want to proliferate the people management in this society. And because there are many developments, people management is yet to become properly recognized. I mean to say that properly recognized profession in the world. We are there because of great institutes like the Chartered Institute of People and Development, United Kingdom, CIPD, and SHRM, Society of Human Resource Management, USA, and the Australian Human Resource Institute, and also the CIPM Sri Lanka. We all are doing a very good job in establishing and also crystallizing the profession as a profession in the world, because human resource has gone beyond human resource to by and large people management. And now we talk about people management in the world of work. So the people managers, this post-COVID era has come to center stage. And they are the post-COVID warriors in the world of work. They are there got to do a lot of things with people. And I'm happy that most of the organizations in the world, the top-notch organizations in the world, unlike previous calamities around, this time have come forward and accepted, embraced the people first agenda in their own sphere of work at the world of work. So it is something very great where our people managers come to forefront. But they need to be equipped with the proper tools. And that is what the academia provides, and that is what the profession provides, the professional organizations and institutes provide for the people managers. So we got to get evolved because the world's evolving continuously. It is a never-ending thing. Yesterday's people or the HR practices, the people practices cannot be implemented for tomorrow. So we need to bring tomorrow today. With this, we'll have to get into to become one with the academia, because there itself is the cradle of research. The professional organizations have to support those researchers. And that is where the knowledge will be generating. And we need to develop that knowledge to profession. So this is a very historic moment. And thank you very much for all those who have contributed. Especially, I must thank Dr. Neil Bogalanda as the head of the Professional and Academic Affairs unit. He is the standing committee chairman as the council member who is looking after. And the Director Professional and Academic Affairs, Mr. Veeratunga, Chief Manager, Mr. Indika, and their team, and all those who have contributed, not forgetting our Acting Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Chris Obesekara, who is a wealth of knowledge for the industry, for the profession, and all the people who are supporting us, and the staff. I must mention, and at this moment, even since I have got this opportunity of talking to a sector of our employees, to thank them very much for their efforts in moving forward through the COVID and doing our business even through the COVID. And you have done great, because we as an institute, of course, the government is there to look after the universities. Right? But the government is not there to look after the professional institute. We have to run hand to mouth. So we have to earn our buck. But in that sense, you all have done a great job, my dear staff. Thank you very much. So hope this council year is of course nearing to an end by the end of July. But before that, we got to achieve quite a lot of things. So we need to run fast. So I hope that you will run that mile also, the last mile, the home run also with me, and get the results. Because we planned quite a lot of things for this year. Especially I must mention about the World HR Congress, which was supposed to happen in another 2 weeks' time, but we had to postpone that, and it's a landmark event because the World HR Congress, which doesn't come often this way, and probably once in a lifetime, or once in 2 lifetimes probably, because it's that rare, and especially to a country like Sri Lanka. So ladies and gentlemen, I must not prolong my speech. We have professor here, and also we need to get on to the signing of the agreement. Once again, thank you very much to you all for being here this evening, especially the erudite academics of Open University. Thank you for being here, Professor, and Professor Siva. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much for sharing your wisdom with the audience. I'd like to invite Professor S.A. Aridurei, the Vice Chancellor of Open University Sri Lanka, to address the gathering.
Mr. Aruna Fernando, the President of the CIPM, and my dear colleagues from the Open University of Sri Lanka, council members of the CIPM, staff of CIPM and well-wishers, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me great pleasure today to be here at this event of signing the Memorandum of Understanding with the Open University of Sri Lanka and Chartered Institute of Management. The Open University of Sri Lanka is just not another university. We are a very special university in the sense we are the only ODL higher educational institute in this country. Your president mentioned that universities are looked after by the government. It's not exactly so with the Open University. Our total annual budget is over 3 billion. Out of that, government gives only us about 1.8 billion. 8 million. 3 million. 3 billion. Out of that, the government gives about 1.8 billion, and that's not enough even to pay our permanent staff in. So we have to raise funds, though the present UGC chairman has promised me that at least he will look after the salaries in future, but we'll have to wait and see how it goes. When you come to, when we look at Sri Lanka, the Sri Lankan education sector as such, our education sector at the lower levels, that is primary and secondary level, is fairly okay. We are comparable with any developed country, any Western country, any developed country. But unfortunately, at the tertiary level, we are very much far behind. In fact, the general enrollment, graduate enrollment ratio of Sri Lanka is just 20%. That is between the age of 18 to 24. That age group, only 20% enter into the higher education. 80% of our youth of that age do not acquire any high qualifications. It's both, including vocational, the tertiary education side of it. The Sri Lanka, which is currently an upper middle income country, the average GER of upper middle income countries are 53%. Unfortunately, Sri Lanka is even far below the South Asian average, which is 24%. So there is a lot of work needs to be done when it comes to tertiary education. If we have to develop as a nation, the only solution is to strengthen our tertiary education. Fortunately, I think we should thank COVID for that. Post-COVID, there are lots of things have been planned. I don't know, you would have read in the newspapers that the president has appointed a task force, presidential task force in Sri Lankan educational affairs. Now, as the Vice Chancellor of a state university, I'm also one of the members of that presidential task force, and this task force has been now appointed 3 core groups to look into the different aspects of education. So there's a core group on general education, which is looking at the reforms that need to be done at the school level. Then there's a core group on higher education, in which I am actively participating, and there's another core group for vocational plus professional education. So we are working independently though, and we are developing our proposals for education reforms in this country. At the last meeting, the President had with the members of the Presidential Task Force, one of the questions raised was, over the last 10, 12, 15 years, or 20 years, whatever, so many reports have been submitted about education reforms, higher education reforms, and many of those reports are in the shelves of various offices. Nothing happens. We develop reports and put it in the shelf, and practically nothing happens. So this issue was raised. You have appointed this task force, and then now we are coming out with this proposal. Will these reports also end up in the cupboards? So then the President noted, saying that this time what the government has done is, government has not appointed a commission. What they have appointed is a task force. So what he said is, once the reports are done, and then it has to be discussed widely among the stakeholders, and once everything is finalized, hopefully by the end of this year, it is the responsibility of the task force to implement it also. So I hope this time something will happen, some tangible things will happen, and hopefully in Sri Lanka we will be able to come out with, or rather revolutionize the education sector. But there are a lot of challenges because there are scarcity of resources in this country. Maybe physical resources, intellectual resources, plus financial resources. We don't have the intellectual capacity, enough capacity to absorb or to take into our staff. Even if we advertise, even now when we advertise for academic positions, very rarely we get, it's very difficult to hire people of caliber in certain fields. So because of that, the only way forward for Sri Lankan higher education institutes is to forge partnerships. I firmly believe that is the way forward. We have also recommended these type of things at the Presidential Task Force level, because I don't know, for some reason or other, even though there is a lot of demand for higher education and the number of institutes are so low, there is a lot of reluctance to share resources, to share intellects. You see, the staff even. People are very reluctant in Sri Lanka, I don't know why. But then the way forward is only through partnerships and sharing of resources this could be done. As far as our university is concerned, the Open University is concerned, we have the most flexible system in this country. We take students with prior qualifications. We take students with credits where the student can acquire certain number of credits, up to 50% of credits from another institute and come. We will give them the credit exemptions or credit transfers, and they would be able to do the additional top-up or whatever and finish the degree or whatever with us. So we have, with the other conventional universities still, that has not come. Hopefully that will come in future. So at the Open University, we recognize these partnerships, value these partnerships much, and we have entered into many partnerships internationally as well. And locally, currently, we have a master's degree program which is done with Maga Institute, Masters in Development Studies and Public Policy. And you are going to sign another, or no, you have already signed the MOU. You are going to launch another master's degree program in supply chain management and procurement. That's again a joint program with Miloda Academy under the Ministry of Finance. So that's how, as far as the Open University is concerned, we believe in that, and we look forward. We look forward to those type of partnerships, so that as an institute, we will be able to provide affordable, lifelong education to our citizens in this country. So once again, let me thank the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management for partnering with us in this noble endeavor for strengthening higher education in this country. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, it is a moment we have been waiting for. I'd like to invite the table delegates to start, sign of agreement to exchange, and the CIPM official will assist for that. To deliver the vote of thanks, I'd like to invite Mr. Chris Obesegara, Acting Chief Executive Officer.
Professor S.A. Aryadure, Vice Chancellor of the Open University of Sri Lanka, Mr. Dhammika Fernando, President of the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management Sri Lanka, dignitaries of the Open University of Sri Lanka, Dr. Neil Bogahalanda, Chairman, Professional and Academic Affairs of CIPM, ladies and gentlemen, it is indeed a privilege and a pleasure to propose the vote of thanks on this historical occasion where a great document has been exchanged between two giants, the Open University of Sri Lanka and the Chartered Institute of Personnel Management, which means that this is another event which marks the enhancement of professional education with the collaboration of these two great organizations. And it is my duty to thank the people who are behind the scenes in making this a possibility. So, first I must thank Professor S.A. Aryadure, Vice Chancellor of OUSL, and the management faculty of the management team of the university for having agreed to be a partner with CIPM and to go forward in a journey which will last hopefully for a long, long time. And sir, you have paved the way for CIPM to join hands with you to move forward in professional education. And then also to Mr. Dhammika Fernando, President of CIPM, and the Council of CIPM, and the Chairman of the Professional and Academic Affairs, Dr. Bogahalanda, and Mr. G. Veeratunga, Director, Professional and Academies of CIPM, who did all the work on behalf of CIPM to make this event a possibility. So the leadership given by Mr. Dhammika Fernando in this instance is noteworthy, and similarly the initiative taken by Dr. Bogahalanda is also very significant. Besides that, the hard work done by Mr. Veeratunga and his team, including Mr. Indika Vijayasirivardhana and other staff members of the professional and academic team, in conjunction with the business school and the council of CIPM, is noteworthy of mentioning. So, I'm sure that the time taken on this is not in vain, because it is going to produce some great results, and therefore the teams on both sides, the university and the CIPM, deserve a big hand of applause. And so with that, I think I have to conclude my vote of thanks, and I thank all of you once again for being here, and the staff of CIPM for being here with us, which is an encouragement, and we look forward to a great journey with you, dear sir. All the best. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. With that, we are concluding today's event, and I'm inviting you for the refreshment arranged, and thank you very much and pleasant evening.